Ability comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, EasyCater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at EasyCater.com.
We've all heard of Larry Bird.
Larry Bird at the buzzer.
Allow us to introduce Derry Bird.
It's A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a one-point game. Giannis back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off-balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Derry Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Derry Bird and the Bucks. WTMJ.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Taxes in retirement could take a bigger bite out of your savings than ever before. With a rising tax environment, many retirees are worried about running out of money. At Drake & Associates, we understand those fears, and we're here to help you feel more confident about your retirement. That's why we're offering a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lobs up top. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, January 27th. Your top story, injured after hitting a tree.
I'm Jessica Ty. Broken water lines across the region.
Wind advisory in place today until 6 o'clock this evening for most of our listening area. Gusts upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. Very windy, increasing clouds, a high of 41. Probably won't feel like that. Isolated chance of a sprinkle or maybe a flurry or two tonight. Breezy and a low of 25. 33 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee. At 11:01 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, serious injuries after a driver hits a tree. The crash happened just before 2 a.m. today near 22nd and Howard on Milwaukee's southwest side. A 20-year-old driver was taken to the hospital, but the cause of the accident is still under investigation.
West Elementary School in Jefferson is closed today because of a water leak. Administrators say issues with the heating system also forced today's closure. All other schools in the district remain open as usual.
Developing story out of Fort Atkinson, where a water main break has been reported at Adrian Boulevard and Hilltop Trail. Crews say water may be affected for up to a one-block radius. They're working to restore service as quickly as possible. City of Middleton, just outside of Madison, also repairing a water line break. That started just around 10 a.m. on Eagle Drive. Customers in the area may experience low or no water pressure for quite some time and some discoloration during the work. If you notice a rusty color in the water, run the cold water for about 10 to 15 minutes.
President Donald Trump is expected to sign 3 military executive orders today. News Nation's Kelly Meyer.
One banning transgender service members, citing issues with mental and physical readiness. Another reinstating service members discharged for refusing to get COVID-19 vaccines. And that means that the executive order directs the Secretary of Defense to reinstate all members of the military, active and reserve, who were discharged for refusing the COVID vaccine and who request to be reinstated. And those who are reinstated will receive their former rank and full back pay.
Another executive order Trump will sign will eliminate the military's DEI programs.
Over the weekend, President Trump threatening to impose tariffs against Colombia after the country refused to accept flights carrying deported migrants on military planes, saying it was not a dignified way to treat them. CBS Camilo Montoya Galvez.
President Trump threatened punishing swift sanctions on Colombia, including tariffs and visa limits. And after that, obviously, the Colombian government now has fully agreed to accept deportation flights, we are told, including a military aircraft. So this really does illustrate how much of a focus this issue will be for the Trump administration on the foreign affairs stage.
And Colombia reversed their decision and is now accepting those flights. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up about 15 today at 44,440. The S&P 500 is down about 100 points today, just under the 6,000 mark at 5,996. And the NASDAQ is getting hammered here. They're down about 590 points at 19,364. Tech stocks, anybody in the AI space is getting hammered here today. Over the weekend, a small Chinese company called DeepSeek released an updated version of its chatbot. It's rivaling ChatGPT. In a related story, NVIDIA is down 21 points today. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
We're looking ahead to the Super Bowl next. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
What we've found is that when you have workers who feel valued, you get better results. This is why good people and good culture should matter to anyone looking for an exterior remodeling company they can trust. It's going to be your experience and the end result that gives you peace of mind, because you'll know your work was done by people who care. We realized early on that if we were going to change the reputation of this industry for the better, that finding good workers that you could trust to do great work was going to be the key. We're attracting good people every day because we take care of our people. We want to make sure they feel important because they are. And we're going to make sure you feel important and valued too, with excellent customer service and high quality work. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59, it'll be the Chiefs and Eagles. Kansas City looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. That game will be played in New Orleans on February 9th. And the Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Doc Rivers Bucs 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
And meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins on the season. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have a couple of crashes that are causing us problems on this Monday. The first one in Waukesha County, I-94 East, about a mile beyond the ramp from Barker Road. 2 left lanes are blocked due to a crash. It's not too far from Brookfield Square. Significant slowdowns are happening because of this. Once again, I-94 East, a little bit beyond the ramp from Barker Road, 2 left lanes blocked due to a crash. And then over by our other mall in that area in Milwaukee County, Mayfair, 4145 South, at North Avenue West. Right shoulder is blocked there because of a crash. That one looks like it involves a semi. Emergency responders are out there. Not causing too many issues at the moment, that one, but we'll see if that changes.
Very windy today, so much so that a wind advisory is in place until 6 o'clock. This is pretty much for everywhere. Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Sheboygan, Ozaukee, Walworth, Washington, and Waukesha counties. That about covers it. Gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour today. Increasing clouds and a high of 41. Overnight low of 25. Tomorrow, mild temperatures continue, but it is going to remain breezy. Light snow possibly to the north and a high of 48. I'm looking at the extended forecast here. It's breezy throughout the week. But 48 is our high on Thursday.
Wow.
I don't know if it's going to feel like that, but there's a lot of 40s in the schedule here for the next 5 days.
Don't blow away with this wind.
Yeah, seriously. Be careful if you're walking that ferret, right, Jessica? It is 33 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Todd.
I'm trying to think if there's ever a combination of when the wind and the temperature are the same, that it's a good thing. I was thinking to myself, well, if there's no wind, but it's zero, it's still zero, right? You're not feeling good about that.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when it's hot and it's a hot breeze, the breeze helps.
Well,
it still helps a little bit.
But if the miles per hour of the wind is the same as the degrees on the thermometers, is that ever a win?
Wait, right now I just went what?
Right. 20-degree temps, 20 to 20 mile per hour winds.
I just can't believe we're going to be up close to 50 coming up here.
That is pretty wild. And yes, wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to go with no. It's never perfect if the wind gusts and your temperature are the same.
11:23. We're going to check in with TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson, and we'll see what he has to say.
Okay, well, see if I can phrase the question more. I've kind of confused myself. All right, it's 11:10. Here's some big stories that we're on top of this morning on a Monday.
3 big things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, ICE arrests. President Donald Trump is reportedly disappointed with the number of migrants arrested over the weekend. He is pushing for stronger numbers heading into week 2 of his administration.
Immigration officials say they arrested nearly 1,000 people across the country yesterday, up from 286 on Saturday and 593 Friday. According to the Washington Post, Trump has directed federal law enforcement to aggressively ramp up that number to up to 1,500 per day.
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. To put those numbers into perspective, there were about 310 arrests a day during the last fiscal year. So President Trump probably not happy then with those numbers from Saturday that were lower than that. Raids have started in our neighboring states. Both Minnesota and Illinois are reporting them. Raids started in Chicago over the weekend. And there was also, I was checking out Iowa to see, there has been at least one ICE arrest in Iowa as well.
Yeah, the perspective, I think, is important, or the context there, because 956 seems like a lot. But if it would have been 300, that also would have felt like a lot to me without any historical perspective. But that was sort of the daily rate, for lack of a better term, over the last year prior to Trump's office or getting office. But it's very interesting to watch. And these are raids. These are happening all over the place, and unbeknownst to those who are being raided.
Yeah, and we'll see how many arrests come now in week 2 of the administration.
United Airlines has a new flight offering for those traveling out of Kansas City. You might be able to guess where it is. About non-stop service, I should say, from Kansas City to New Orleans the second week of February.
Going to a knee. You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs being the first team in National Football League history to win back-to-back Super Bowls and go to the Super Bowl for a chance for a three-peat.
That's the call from 96.5 The Fan. Of course, the Chiefs advancing with a thrilling win. It was a very exciting game. 32-29 the final. They beat Buffalo. So now it's Super Bowl 59. My kids yesterday were watching the game. They're like, what is LIX? What is LIX? What does that mean? What is Super Bowl LIX? They haven't gotten around to studying Roman numerals. And apparently I haven't either, because I can never remember the freaking number.
Well, Super Bowl LIX just sounds more fun.
Well, it does. There's a lot of jokes there that we'll have to stay away from here on the program. But I don't get why we still do the Roman numeral thing.
Yeah, it's fancy.
I just don't understand.
It's fun and fancy.
But I had too much time, Jessica. And then I have to go back and see what the number is, confirm that I still know an idea of what Roman numerals are.
I look at the Google.
Okay. The Eagles, by the way, the team that knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. That'll be the opponent. Should be a good one. Good defenses, good offenses in New Orleans on February 9th.
Number 3, the Killers are coming to Summerfest. American rock band The Killers will headline the American Family Insurance Amphitheater on Friday, June 27th. Mark your calendars, and tickets go on sale this Friday. As far as the big headliners on the main stage go, with this new announcement today, I kind of mapped this out. We are now just waiting on the final weekend. You like my map? If you're watching us,
I like what you did
streaming.
there.
Can you see this here?
9 boxes to represent the 9 days of the fest, and most of those boxes are filled in.
I know, yeah. It's just kind of nice because you get these big announcements and then you're like, where are we, right? Well, so at this point, we're waiting in the last weekend. So Thursday, July 3rd, Friday the 4th, and Saturday the 5th. But so far, we've got on opening night, Def Leppard and Tesla. Friday the 20th, Hozier. Saturday, James Taylor and Jason Mraz. And then the next weekend, you have Lainey Wilson on Thursday the 26th. The Killers, the new announcement we're just getting today, on the 27th. Saturday the 28th, Megan Thee Stallion. And then we'll wait and see who's coming up next. 3 more big ones on the main stage.
This is a big one. This one resonates with me. Popular band. They've been around for 20 years. I know they're not breaking on the scene. I remember listening to the Killers. Well, maybe not 20. Well,
I mean, maybe. I just didn't realize
I'm going back to like 2005. Yeah, like 2005 with the Killers in this song. Well, not this song. This song came out a little later. But Mr. Brightside was 2004, 5, 6-ish, somewhere around there.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even believe that one's that old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good get for Summerfest.
Good get for Summerfest, indeed. Coming up next, President Trump's first week. Well, we're going to dial in with Steve Roberts on the foundation that the president is setting for his second term in office. We'll do it after this.
Catch up on Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
It's not the extension of pumpkin spice season. No, it is not a maple cold foam cold brew with artichoke.
In the mornings, Greg will typically drink an iced coffee, a cold coffee. Gina does hot coffee, and then I do tea.
By listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast.
Darkest Retreat isn't for me. Ayahuasca's probably not for me.
Sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
President Donald Trump only doing week number 2. Executive orders, confirmation hearings continue, and almost 1,000 arrests have been reported across the United States. amid Trump's immigration enforcement blitz. ABC political analyst Steve Roberts joins us on the line here, Steve. And, Trump is coming through and working quickly, Steve, not unlike we expected. But have there been any surprises for you in how he's going about his business?
Not really, because he's promised this. He has foreshadowed this. He said many times during his first term, I can do anything I want as president. Well, he was limited in all sorts of ways during his first term. He was an amateur. He had never worked in Washington. He didn't understand government. He didn't have a team of loyalists who had been plotting. Fact is, let's be honest, he didn't even think he was going to win in 2016. So he had very little plan, very little strategy. And his margin was very narrow. He lost the popular vote. And, Republicans were not yet sold on Trump as a leader of the Republican Party. There were so many ways in which he was limited during his first term. But his second term is very different. He won the popular vote, so he can legitimately claim a stronger mandate. He has had 4 years to assemble a team of loyalists who have been plotting strategy and working on plans. He himself is a very different political animal, far more experienced about the ways of Washington. And let's also remember the Democrats are weaker. They are in disarray. They're dispirited. Kamala Harris has retreated to California. Joe Biden has sunk into oblivion. Democrats, leaders in the House and Senate are both in the minority and don't have strong national platforms. The next generation of Democratic leaders, of the young governors around the country, are still struggling to establish national reputations. You add all of that together, and Trump has a much stronger sense of confidence and a much stronger plan. And one of the things he has definitely been doing very strategically and decisively is trying to undermine, even eliminate, any sources of accountability, any guardrails or checks or balances that can hold him back. One very good example, he has fired at least 17 of the inspectors general. Now, each cabinet department has one of these watchdogs. They're independent. They're civil servants. They're there to investigate corruption and spot wrongdoing of all kinds. And he's fired a bunch of them. And that's just an example of his very determined policies of trying to maximize his power and minimize the institutions that could check that power.
If you wrote a book about President Trump right now, I feel like you could find a chapter titled Revenge and Retaliation. And actually, kind of sounds like a good title for a book, too, doesn't it?
A documentary series, yeah.
I mean, some people might not like to hear that, but I almost wonder if Trump himself would say, yes.
Well, I don't think there's any question. He said it countless times. I mean, none of this should really be a surprise to anybody. He has foreshadowed his intentions, and he's carrying them out. But it's interesting that one element of the federal government, he cannot intimidate, he cannot reassign, he cannot fire, and that's federal judges. And even though he himself appointed over 200 federal judges during his time in office, including 3 members of the Supreme Court, we've already seen that this might be the single most important obstacle, the single most important check and balance, because he tried to, through an executive order, change something that's called birthright citizenship. This is a long-established constitutional provision that anybody born in the continental United States is automatically a citizen. He's tried to challenge that. And within hours, a federal judge in Seattle, by the way, a judge appointed by Ronald Reagan, called this act blatantly unconstitutional and issued a national restraining order. So looking forward, perhaps the most important check and balance, particularly in the short run, on Donald Trump's powers is going to be the federal judiciary. He can fire inspectors general. He can reassign senior executives in the Justice Department and the State Department, which he's done. He can basically eviscerate scientific agencies and medical agencies that have would do studies that he doesn't like. He can do all of that, but he can't get around the federal judges. And the progressive movement, their one bulwark, their one area where they can really battle Trump is in the courts. And this action in the Seattle federal court is only the beginning of a wide series of battles that are going to play out in the weeks and months ahead in these courts.
ABC Steve Roberts joins us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Steve, we appreciate your time. Thanks, you so much.
Anytime.
Yep, you bet. Coming up on the other side, a look at the week's forecast here. A lot of 40s. That includes the winds. We'll talk to Tyler Moore after this.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Abby Windows. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
I had a nice crowd at the Hounds and Tap over the weekend. If you've not been to the Hounds and Tap, it really is your one-stop shop for anything related to your dog, boarding, grooming, doggy daycare services. And why were so many people hanging out? Well, because they have an indoor-outdoor tavern. So while your dog's getting his or her nails cut, you can hang out and have a drink, catch a game, get some food from a food truck when they have the food truck scheduled. It's a great time to hang out at the Hounds and Tap. Just trying to find some socialization opportunities for yourself and your pet throughout the course of the winter? Well, the Hounds and Tap is a great place to head out to. Food trucks, bingo, fundraisers, and more. Every Sunday is a family day, so you can bring the kids as well and just enjoy some time with great people who also love their pets. If you love dogs, if you have a dog, you'd love the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. Check them out if you have a need for doggy boarding, daycare services, or just grooming, whatever you're looking for. Every day is a play day. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Time to check in the week's weather ahead with TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore. Tyler, I asked Jessica this question. I'll ask you the same thing. Is there ever a time where the high temperatures and the high wind gusts, if they're ever the same, is it a good thing? Is it a nice day? For example, 30-degree temp, 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Boy, I don't know if it's ever going to line up for a good day, right? I mean, I got to think, I'm trying to think of the best middle ground. So I would say maybe 50 degrees with 50-mile-an-hour winds is probably the best, I would assume, because 40s and 40-mile-an-hour winds is not fun. 30s and 30-mile-an-hour winds, you're talking about probably wind chills close to zero.
Right.
And then you get stronger than 50, 60 miles per hour and you're talking damage. So that's
true.
I've never thought of it that way before, but that is a very interesting way to look at things.
Into the mind of Greg Matzik. Now we know.
Yeah, that hamster's got some energy today.
So, Tyler, what's up with this wind, and how long are we going to be dealing with it?
Yeah, it is a windier pattern that we're looking at. So it's not just going to be today. Today will be the worst of it. What we have is a high pressure down to our south and a very strong low pressure up into central Canada, and it's kind of squeezing the atmosphere together between it, and you get some pretty strong winds out of the west, which is what we're looking at today. We call that a pressure gradient tightening up. So we'll see that continue for today. Wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some wind gusts close to 50. Most of them will be in the 40s. I'll tell you what, I was just walking in the parking lot, and instead of having sandstorms, it was a salt storm because all the dried salt in the parking lot just blew up, and that was not a fun feeling, getting some salt in the eyes. So, unique, interesting thing being out there right now in some of the parking lots. But, wind strongest today. It will be windy through Thursday, but at least the wind is out of the west and southwest, so it does bring in a lot of 30s and 40s.
Is that going to continue, or do we see another snap coming maybe later early into next week and beyond?
Yeah, I am looking at probably a snap coming past the weekend into next weekend. Nothing too crazy, but closer to average 20s and 30s. And I was looking at the pattern, too. It might get a little more active. Some better snow potential as we head into February as we kind of look at a typical pattern setting up where you can get some of those panhandle hooks, which can tend to bring us some bigger storms. So we'll have to watch it once as we hit the first and second week of February.
Well, some people just heard that and said, woohoo! A lot of snow lovers out there hoping for some soon, and at least some this season.
Good stuff, Tyler.
Yeah, we have.
We
haven't had much. Sorry, I'm going to just jump in one more quick thing because 3 inches of snow is all we had this January. And we had more back in November. So I feel for the snow lovers. I mean, it's been a tough winter for them. I know they're hoping for some more snow. Hopefully we can get a little bit more out through the last full month of winter here in February. But if you're not a snow lover, I do want to just throw this last bit in here. Our first 5 p.m. sunset is on Wednesday. So the days are getting longer. We got that to look forward to as well.
I kind of noticed that yesterday. It was a bright sunny day, and it was 4:30, and we're just kind of getting some dinner ideas together and whatnot. And it's like, we're hanging on here. It's a nice sunny day, brings about some lightness into the house at 4:30. That's a good thing.
Love that.
Yeah, not bad.
Good stuff, Tyler. Thanks so much. We'll check in again soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good week.
You too. It's 11:29 on WTMJ. News coming up.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
This is Wisconsin's Midday News. I'm Greg Matzek. It's Monday, January 27th. Your top story, no ice is safe this winter.
I'm Jessica Ty, armed and on the loose near Oconomowoc.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The world pauses to remember, not to forget on Holocaust Remembrance Day. Also the 80th anniversary of the Soviet troops liberating the Auschwitz death camp in Poland. The ceremony at the site, survivors like 86-year-old Tova Friedman remember seeing children led to the gas chamber.
I thought that we all have to die, that it was normal. If you're a Jewish child, you have to die.
There are concerns today about rising hate and anti-Semitism. Reports say President Trump is ordering immigration officials to meet a new quota to arrest 1,500 migrants per day. Advocacy groups in Chicago have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration over plans for mass deportations in the city. They want an injunction and emergency hearing. Trump administration has halted plans to slap tariffs on products from Colombia after that country agreed to accept deportation flights. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 11:31. 35 degrees and sunny from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources reminding the public that no ice is 100% safe. Wind Lake and Muskego Lake are among those where first responders saved people from icy water over the weekend. A 61-year-old man is dead after falling through the ice on Pewaukee Lake Saturday afternoon. Waukesha County Sheriff's Department reports the man fell through on his UTV and then became trapped under the water shortly after 3 p.m. Despite life-saving efforts, the man died on his way to the hospital. He was under the ice for nearly 40 minutes.
A woman is dead after she was hit by a vehicle on I-43 North. This happened around 4:30 Sunday morning. A 59-year-old woman from Milwaukee was walking on the interstate near Fond du Lac Avenue. According to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, she was hit by a driver who was trying to get away. All northbound lanes of 43 at Fond du Lac were closed for several hours.
An armed man is on the loose and After threatening a Target employee, Oconomowoc police are searching for 26-year-old Keon Hawthorne, accused of threatening at a fellow employee at the Target distribution center on Valley Road early Sunday morning. Hawthorne pointed a gun at the other employee before fleeing. No one was injured. No shots were fired.
Well, more and more people are talking about it now. Oak Creek possibly being the future site of Wisconsin's first Buc-ee's gas station. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ how the Texas-based chain differs from other gas stations.
Part of it is just the size. I mean, if you think of what I'm old enough to think of as a truck stop, where you just have acres of land and a huge number of gas pumps and then stuff inside, Buc-ee's kind of takes that experience but makes it for your everyday driver, and then it elevates it.
The Oak Creek location is expected to have more than 100 fueling pumps.
Well, January is National Blood Donation Month, but according to the American Red Cross, hundreds of donation drives were canceled this month due to extreme weather events. Dr. Arun Shet at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute tells WTMJ the blood supply affects a wide range of conditions.
Pregnancy and childbirth, a car accident, having trauma, or undergoing surgery. Sometimes people have blood disorders that prevent them from making blood correctly and require blood transfusion, like sickle cell disease.
About 40% of the population is eligible to donate blood, but only about 3% do so.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by NBA and Bucks champion George Hill. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. The game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. And the Bucs tour of the Western Conference continues tonight in Utah against the Jazz. Milwaukee 25-18 on the season. The Jazz have just 10 wins so far this year. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. I have a new alert, an update on this crash we were telling you about earlier in Waukesha County, not far from Brookfield Square. I-94 East is now closed from Blue Mound Road to about Barker Road because of a crash. Earlier, you had a couple of lanes that were closed, but now I-94 East is closed entirely from Blue Mound Road to about Barker Road because of a crash. That's not the only crash we're dealing with right now. In Milwaukee County, closer to Mayfair, 4145 South at North Avenue West. Right shoulder is blocked there due to a crash. I'm hoping that one clears quickly here. There is still a semi that's off to the road that was involved in the crash, and there is one emergency responder left. But it looks like in the next hour or so that one should be cleared. We'll keep you posted.
Wind advisory in effect tonight until 6 o'clock. Expect gusts anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour. High temperature of 41 degrees. Tuesday, breezy, mostly cloudy, and a high of 43. Wednesday's high of 38. It's going to be breezy all week. Most of the days, our temperatures are anywhere from 38 to 48. So the temperatures will be mild, but the winds will certainly be strong. It is 35 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:38. Greg and Jessica with you. Hope your Monday is going well. It's Wisconsin's Midday News. So parts of Los Angeles County still smoldering, Jessica, of course, from the wildfires. Yeah. You got some of these pop-up fires, new blazes popping up, starting to spread a little bit south to San Diego. And was looking at the forecast last week, and you saw rain. Like, holy cow. Well, that's part of the issue in California is they had to have a drop of rain all year long. Rains over the weekend, were they helpful or were they hurtful? That's kind of the big question here, because while you may have one home that was preserved somehow still standing after the wildfires, mudslide may have taken that house out. That's some of the issues they're experiencing now in California.
Yeah, I saw one family. They were so thankful. And this is with the first mudslide. They were so thankful because their home was spared from the wildfires. But then days later, boom, their home totally gone because of a mudslide.
It's unbelievable to see the level of destruction from the fires and now mudslides in California. A couple weeks ago, we spoke with my friend Caitlin Morale. Caitlin, a Burlington native. She was a former traffic reporter for TMJ4 News and a current Pacific Palisades resident. And we talked to her about her home still standing, which was amazing. She had relocated to Brentwood. We wanted to do another check-in with Caitlin to see where she is now. How is the family doing? Has she been to the house? Caitlin joins us here on the program. Hi, Caitlin. Hey, Caitlin, you with us?
We're going to try to get Kate.
Oh, there we are. Caitlin, how you doing?
You. Okay. I'm doing well. How are you all?
Great. So you're just kind of setting it up for our fans here. We spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you and your family had relocated to Brentwood. And then it looked like Brentwood wasn't the safest place to be. So what is the latest with the with the Morel family?
So we were in a hotel in Brentwood the first few days after the fire, and our final night in that hotel, we were evacuated from that hotel, as well as the Palisades fire started moving east toward Mandeville Canyon and the Getty Center. But fortunately, we had kind of longer-term lodging set up for the next day, so we just went to a friend's house that night. But I know as you were kind of setting things up, you were talking about mudslides and how the rain, while seemingly very helpful, could also pose some problems. And right before you called to talk, I was actually sharing with my mom. The one road in and out of our house is now completely closed because of a huge slide.
Are you worried about your house? I mean, here you've got the road that's closed, but how fearful are you and some other families because of these mudslides?
There's definitely a level of fear, especially because of the area we live in. In our previous talk, I mentioned we lived in the Palisades Highlands, which is kind of at the top of the canyon in the Santa Monica mountain range. So we have a lot of vegetation that is gone, and we're built into a hill. So there's obviously concern among our neighbors and different residents in the areas about what kind of slides we'll potentially encounter. At this point, I'm trying not to worry myself about it because there's just not much you can do right now. You kind of need to just sit back and cross your fingers.
Caitlin, there's so many different facets to this story. I wonder if you've even been able to get back to your house. And it's not inhabitable at this point. It maybe never will be. Who knows? But have you been back to see it at all or take a tour?
I did. I went back on Thursday last week. So what they're doing right now is called repopulation. And I feel like the name is misleading because you're not able to populate the area. You can kind of go back and visit. I know there are a handful of people that never left their homes or have stayed put once they got up there. But the process is the LAPD takes 10 cars up at a time. So you go to a staging area by the Santa Monica Pier, and they check your ID because it's only residents that can go up. You can't take contractors yet unless they're in your car with you. You can't take insurance unless they're in the car with you. They can't go up on their own yet. So they check your ID, and they take 10 cars up at a time. And even driving down the Pacific Coast Highway, it's nothing I could have been prepared for. It looked like traveling into a dystopian war zone. There's National Guard lining the streets. There's utility crews, police, firefighters, Red Cross, different rescue organizations, all there. It was a really surreal experience. And then when you get to a home that's still standing, you see the devastation around it, and then you go inside your home, and it's almost like a time warp.
Caitlin, are your kids asking questions? I know you have kids, and you had mentioned that I believe your school was saved, thanks goodness. But some of these kids, their schools were totally destroyed by the wildfires.
Right.
I imagine this has to be a tough time for families as well, just for the kids to see the destruction around them and have questions.
It's incredibly hard. My son is a sixth grader, so he just graduated out of fifth grade in the Pacific Palisades, and his previous school burned completely to the ground. I was an active parent volunteer at his school, and to me, that's sometimes the hardest image to look at is his previous school because we have so many 6 years of incredible memories there, friendships made. It's really kind of the place that made us feel at home in Pacific Palisades. Like you said, he goes to school in Santa Monica now as a middle schooler. So fortunately, his school life wasn't disrupted too much. But he has a number of classmates, even in his school, that have lost homes or are displaced right now like we are.
Well, is he at school today? Like, is school operating? If the school is standing, is it operational?
Yes, his school actually went back the Monday after the fire. So the fire was January 7th. That was their first day back from winter break, and they didn't go back the rest of that week, but they resumed classes at his school the following Monday. But they had a lot of different measures in place. They had new air purifiers in all the classrooms. If the kids had to transition to a classroom outside, they needed to wear masks. They weren't having outdoor lunchtime or snack time. They weren't having sports outdoors, anything like that, because they were trying to limit the exposure to the air quality. Because Santa Monica is pretty close to Pacific Palisades. It's, just a few miles away.
When you talk about the kids, going back to school and whatnot, I just think about life trying to move forward. How is the cleanup going for some of these families? Are we even there yet?
No. Cleanup hasn't begun at all yet. There was actually a town hall yesterday that discussed the different phases of cleanup, and there's going to be a couple different things that need to happen. First, the Environmental Protection Agency needs to come in because the things that you don't think about are, people's cars burned. So you're dealing with car batteries, you're dealing with solar panels, you're dealing with coolant, different chemicals that were in a house. So the EPA has to come in first and do phase one of cleaning to handle, toxic materials that a traditional cleanup crew wouldn't be safe doing. And I think they said that will take upwards of 2 months. And then they'll come in and start doing the general rubble removal after that.
Do you think you'll live in your house again?
I hope so. It's scary to think about, though, because you don't know what the ground is going to, we talk about obviously the stability of the ground right now with the rain. You don't know what the ground's going to be like as far as stability talks. You also don't know how much toxin is in the ground. Right now, there's a do not drink order for the 90272 area code. So if anyone is still in their home right now, they can't even boil water. It's a do not drink situation because all of our tanks ran dry, and now we have all this groundwater complication happening. We don't know what's in the air. We don't know what's in our drywall and our insulation. So I think once we can get back, there will be some significant renovation that needs to happen. But it's kind of one of those, it's hard to think forward to that. I know we have to, but also trying not to worry about it at this point until we have more information about what our environment looks like there.
I'm wondering for the families and some of your friends who lost homes, are they talking about whether they want to rebuild there? I know this community means a lot to you, and you kind of described in a ways of how when you lived here in southeastern Wisconsin, there's some similarities there, and you really love Pacific Palisades. Yeah. But I would imagine for some of these families, too, they're thinking, I don't know if we can do this again here.
Right. I think, we have a couple friends who they had planned to relocate after their kids were done with high school, and one of them said, we'll just make that transition now because that just is what makes sense for our family. I think after the dust settled a little bit, like week 2, some people said, you know what, yep, we're going to rebuild our house. We're going to rebuild our community. Even my real estate agent, she's someone who, she found me both my homes in the Pacific Palisades, and she really introduced me to the community. She had lived there her whole life. She lost her home, and she said, we're going to rebuild, and we're going to help others rebuild so our community comes back strong. So I think the hope is that the majority of people are really interested in rebuilding their lives, but also building this incredible community feel that Pacific Palisades has. And it's definitely, just that mentality is what's gotten a lot of us through this time.
It's an incredible story, and not for the right reasons. Incredible story about how people are coming together, but that is tough pills to swallow here for so many, right? Just when you think you might be in the clear, right. You talk about all the things you mentioned, Caitlin, that could be existing inside your home. So even though the house is standing, there's still danger around that area. Right. So that level of uncertainty has got to be so unsettling.
It really is. We brought a couple clothing items back to our rental with us, and we kind of realized even washing them wasn't enough. Some of the stuff my son got for Christmas, we had to take back to the house because we're unable to utilize it right now until it goes through either more extensive remediation or until we replace things. They talk about anything you sleep on, you should replace it after it's gone through that because your body is in contact with it for 8 hours every night. And just the timeline. I think, when this all happened, we're thinking, we'll be out of our homes for 3 months. And then there was some information that came out from a meeting with different people in the area that are involved with the rebuild and the cleanup that said, even if your house is standing, you could be looking at least 18 months being displaced.
Well, we'll continue checking in, Caitlin. Glad you're okay. Glad everybody is safe, first and foremost, and hopefully some signs of progress here over the next couple of weeks.
Yep. I think, we learn a little bit more every day and take a few steps forward and maybe a step back. But I think now we're getting a little more information, and it sounds like some plans are being made to start cleaning up this week.
Well, we appreciate the check-in, Caitlin. We'll check in again soon.
Yeah, best wishes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep, you bet. It's 11:51 on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking
clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Abbey Windows.
Is your bathroom stuck in the 90s? Sick of looking at that pink and brass? Then it's time for an upgrade. Abbey Home can customize a new tub or shower conversion just for you. If you like the look of tile, but don't want the maintenance and issues that come with it, we're your perfect fit. We pull all the permits, take it down to the studs, and get you a whole new look in 2 days. Go to myabbeyhome.com to learn more. Right now, get 0% interest for 24 months and get 20% off your project. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Wind advisory in effect until 6 o'clock tonight for pretty much everywhere here in southeast Wisconsin. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s, but those wind gusts could reach upwards of 50 miles an hour. Overnight low in the 20s. Tomorrow back into the 40s and breezy. In fact, it's going to be breezy throughout the week here, but a lot of high temperatures in the 40s. Not sure if it'll feel like that, but mild temperatures nonetheless. 35 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:54. New music coming from a pop superstar.
Little Monsters, get ready. Lady Gaga will release her 7th studio album March 7th, which she says will explore themes of chaos and transformation. The 14-track album will be titled Mayhem.
There's always a joker.
One of the singles, Die With a Smile, a collaboration with Bruno Mars, spent 3 weeks at number 1 on the charts. Another single will play along with a music video during a commercial at the Grammy Awards this Sunday. Matt Piper, CBS News.
The Grammys, of course, this Sunday. No football. The Grammys are going to be on. A good spot for it. Of all the award shows, I think I like the Grammys a little better than the others, but I'm usually out on award shows.
Oh, I love the Grammys, yes. I love music. Oh, love live music. Love going to Summerfest. Love checking out all the concerts here in town. So, yeah, Grammys, I'm in for the Grammys.
And
I'm
Gaga?
DVRing that if I'm not home.
And Gaga with a new album. She continues to turn them out.
She is unbelievable. I mean, she is just so talented, so creative, and so unique. Kind of reminds me of a Madonna back in the day.
Definitely a powerhouse. 11:56 on WTMJ. News coming up in a few.
Football is like rock and roll. It's just... And basketball is like jazz. You know, you're kind of...
Brent sends it left of the lane to Portis. Lillard sends it to the corner.
It's in the pocket. It's like...
Driving inside, hands it to Jackson. Catch and shoot three. Torian Prince rips the cords.
The Bucks head out to Utah to take on the Jazz. Our Bucks Radio Game Day coverage starts tonight at 7:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
helping people and families seriously injured in accidents, and standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. WTMJ's Greg Matzik. It's Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, you make the call to Gruber, and they focus on fighting the legal battle while you focus on healing. It's what they've been doing here for 40 years in the state of Wisconsin. It's Gruber Law Offices. Giving back to the community, also very important for David and this family-run business. They're locally known and nationally recognized. And the best part about Gruber, not only will they fight the legal battle for you, but there's no cost to consult or retain their firm. In fact, never a fee until they win your case. It's what they do. It's what they've been doing for 4 decades. Visit gruber-law.com or make that call to 414-276-6666.
As winter takes a deep freeze, it's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with deals you won't find anywhere else. Save on last-minute all-inclusive vacations with Apple Vacations or get up to 67% off public cruise rates with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. Is Europe on your mind? Ask about Fox Group Vacations. Book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
William Golding's classic novel, The Lord of the Flies, is a disturbing tale about a group of boys who cast off the thin veneer of civilization and descend into savagery on a tropical island. But did you know that a real-life incident almost took place in southeast Oklahoma more than 70 years ago? Dr. Michael Ziegler tells the story of the Robbers Cave experiment this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
The Bucks continue their West Coast trip with a Salt Lake assault against the Jazz.
Lots of time. Giannis slams it home. Oh, a rim-rocking alley-oop. Dame to Giannis, and the rim's going to feel that one tomorrow.
With coverage starting tonight at 7:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, January 27th. Your top story, a deadly Sunday afternoon drive in Beaver Dam.
I'm Jessica Ty. Trade talks heat up with Colombia.
Wind advisory in place until 6 o'clock for Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Sheboygan, Ozaukee, Walworth, Washington, and Waukesha counties. Expect gusts between 40 and 50 miles an hour. Overnight low of 25 degrees. It's 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, following a developing story here, I-94 eastbound closed at Blue Mound Road beyond the ramp from Barker Road due to a crash that happened just after 10 o'clock this morning. The westbound lanes are now open. That's allowing traffic to move through. Police anticipate having everything open by 1 o'clock this afternoon.
One person is dead and 6 others, including kids, are hurt after a crash in Beaver Dam. This happened after 4:30 on Sunday afternoon near County Roads A and B in Dodge County. A driver in a pickup truck blew through a stop sign and was hit going through the intersection. A 30-year-old man from Tennessee who was in the pickup was ejected and died right there at the scene. The 32-year-old driver, also from Tennessee, is being treated for serious injuries and was arrested for OWI. The driver, a passenger, and 3 kids in the other vehicle were taken to area hospitals.
Colombian officials in Washington, D.C. today after President Trump's threat of a trade war. Until late yesterday, Colombia's president refused to accept flights of deported migrants from the United States. In response, Trump threatened emergency tariffs of up to 50%. News Nation's Robert Sherman.
The president has long vowed to use tariffs as a negotiating tool in order to broker the kind of deals that he wants, particularly when it comes to the issue of immigration. A statement coming from the White House press secretary reads, quote, "Today's events make clear to the world that America is respected again. President Trump will continue to fiercely protect our nation's sovereignty, and he expects all other nations of the world to fully cooperate in accepting the deportation of their citizens illegally present in the United States."
The White House says the tariffs and sanctions are on hold and will not be signed unless Colombia fails to honor the agreement.
What's in a name? The Racine School Board is expected to vote today on whether to change the name of a popular elementary school.
Red Apple Elementary is being expanded into a K-8 school in 2026. The school was first founded in 1974. It focuses on STEM. There had been a proposal to name the school after Laurel Clark, a graduate from Horlick High who died on board the shuttle Columbia in 2003. Well, the Racine Journal-Times says a committee voted on the matter in favor of no name change to keep it Red Apple. That recommendation will now be considered by the full board today. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Are garbage cans blowing around the neighborhood? It's possible with that wind advisory lasting until 6 o'clock tonight. TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore says the bright side is
wind strongest today. It will be windy through Thursday, but at least the wind is out of the west and southwest, so it does bring in a lot of 30s and 40s.
Oh, there you go. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up. Time first for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good day for the Dow, with gains of about 50 points at 44,472. S&P 500 is off about 115 today at 59.84. The NASDAQ is getting pummeled here, down nearly 700 points at 19,277. Apple is among the tech stocks doing very well today, up 8 points. NVIDIA is among the tech stocks doing terrible today, down nearly 23 points at 119 a share. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The Super Bowl is set. Stay close. We're talking about sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right. at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Super Bowl 59 will feature the Chiefs and Eagles. Kansas City looking for a third consecutive Super Bowl win. Game will be played February 9th in New Orleans. And the Bucs are out west. They continue a Western Conference tour, visiting the Jazz tonight in Utah. Doc Rivers Bucs 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
Meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins on the season. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have some good news. The crash over by Mayfair has cleared, and it looks like DOT no longer reporting the big crash at I-94 East at Blue Mound to Barker, that area over there. I will say, however, that was the area that was closed. You had all lanes closed earlier, I-94 East. I-94 East from Blue Mound to about Barker was closed because of a crash. But I'm looking at the three closest cameras, and there is traffic moving along in each direction now, so that's good news. But there are certainly delays. So if you're traveling I-94 East and you're hitting something kind of over by Marcus Majestic Cinema and Von Mar, it's because of that crash earlier, but hopefully that clears up quickly.
Very windy today. That wind advisory in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. Chance of a sprinkle, maybe a flurry or two tonight with a low of 25. Breezy, mostly cloudy on Tuesday. Light snow to the north and a high of 43. 38 your high on Wednesday, up to 48 on Thursday. But again, breezy, mostly sunny, but mild temperatures. Primarily 40s throughout the week here. It is currently 36 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Thought for a moment the Bucs were going to be not only leaving for California, but ultimately Utah. For some reason, I had them playing at home tonight. I was like, wow, that was a quick trip to Los Angeles. But then it kind of put things together and said, well, you're not wearing your Bucs stuff tonight, so you're not going to the game. But these late-night games, boy, I used to live for the late-night start. Whatever it was, Brewers, Bucs, if it was on at 9 o'clock or 9:30, I was so in. That was different. Growing up as a kid, you'd have that game on. You might fall asleep to it and wake up in the 8th inning or the 4th quarter.
Now you want your head to hit the pillow at
right
that time.
Now I'm taking duct tape and trying to, peel my eyes back like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Yeah. Well, think about them.
I know. It's just different.
With the time changes when you're going from one spot to another and all the chaos that they had last week with travel. But they keep on doing it.
8 o'clock, by the way, the start time. Not bad tonight. 8 o'clock the start time. You can hear it here on WTMJ. On top of some big stories here this afternoon as we hit 12:10 on a Monday.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Tax season starts today. This is the first day the IRS will accept and process 2024 income tax returns. April 15th remains the official deadline for most Americans to file their taxes. And the key word there, most. Millions of Americans in federally declared disaster areas will receive an automatic extension until later on this year. ABC's Alexis Christoforous clues us in on some of the changes to the rules.
If you have a simple tax return, meaning you're not itemizing your taxes, there's a new way to file this year. The IRS has expanded its direct file program. It's in 25 states now. It lets you file your federal tax return online directly with the IRS for free. And as usual, the sooner you file, the faster you'll get your refund.
And for all you freelancers out there, if you made more than $5,000 last year through a third-party app like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App, you'll receive a 1099-K.
It's coming.
It's coming.
They'll find you. Are you an early tax filer typically?
No. I always did my taxes myself for the longest time. And then finally I switched on over and had somebody else do them. And then I'm like, I'm never going back. Once you have somebody else do them, it's like done. But my husband takes care of it now, and he waits. In fact, he typically files an extension, which I remember the first time I was like, you're on this, right? It was very weird to let go of that. Like, now you have mine in your hands as well. So he's like, I got it. But you're an early bird.
I like to get it done in February. Hey, all the documents are there. You can just download stuff right now, right? It's not too hard to piece everything together. Keep pretty good track of everything throughout the course of the year, so I'm never fishing or scrambling to find information, not too much. I like to get it done. We typically have a refund. It's not massive, but, money's coming back, so hey, why not get it in sooner than later?
Anytime I get a tax document in the mail, though, I do take out the highlighter, highlight it, and boom, put it all in one spot. There it is. Here comes another one. Tax document. There it goes.
Yeah,
the pile.
I got to.
Yep, get it ready.
Number 2, may need to adjust your grocery store budget, right? You've heard of wakey eggs and bakey. Might just be the bakey.
Predicting that egg prices will go up 20% this year. The reason, a spike in bird flu cases right at the end of last year has now created a shortage of eggs. Experts are saying don't expect egg prices to come down anytime soon.
That's ABC's Eva Pilgrim. Some stores here in southeastern Wisconsin, they actually have limits now on how many cartons of eggs you can take out the door with you.
Yeah, last time I was at the grocery store, it was just the Metro Market down here, downtown. That's the one I typically go to. And they had a big old sign. It said, due to recent supply shortages, the cost to source eggs that meet our strict quality standards has increased drastically. All eggs are limited to 2 packages per customer. And there weren't many eggs left.
What if you're at Costco? Because you're buying like 24 at a time anyway.
Yeah, I do like to do that, too.
You get 2 of those?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Costco has limits.
Yeah, I haven't
been over there lately to check up, but I do like to get the eggs there too. Lasts you a long time when you get that many. Well, depending on how many people you have in the family, I suppose. Well, the American Heart Association is out today with its annual update. Bottom line, heart disease is still the number 1 killer in the U.S., but this new report finds risk factors like obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes are still on the upswing. Cardiologist Dr. Tara Narula explains and reminds us how we can prevent a lot of this.
80% of cardiovascular disease is preventable. We always tell our patients that by modifying some of these risk factors. So heart-healthy diets, we think about the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, plant-based or vegetarian type diets. Exercise, about 150 minutes of moderate cardio every week or 75 minutes of vigorous cardio. Sleep 7 to 9 hours. Knowing your numbers. You should know your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your body mass index. And then finally, screening.
I had not heard of the DASH diet before.
I'd not heard of that either.
Okay, I just did a quick little Google here. The DASH diet, or dietary approaches to stop hypertension. That's what it's all about. So balanced eating plan that helps lower your blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart disease. The report, by the way, says if this trend continues, it's estimated U.S. healthcare costs will go up 300% by 2050. So in the next 25 years, 300%. The good news, though, there is some good news here. Smoking rates and cholesterol levels are going down.
Well, it's because the price of eggs is going up, right? The cholesterol, Wait, are you supposed to eat yolks now, or are you not?
I
get very confused.
I eat it all. And I put salt on it, so that's probably not good
breakfast.
either.
I got to eat. 12:15 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we'll check in with our friends at the MMAC. Kind of a big story this morning. It was announced that Microsoft closed on more than 200 acres of land in the city of Kenosha. So what is the plan here? They're continuing to expand their footprint in southeastern Wisconsin. We'll find out after this.
Wisconsin winters are unpredictable.
This is history. Never had a tornado touchdown in February.
We keep you updated on blizzards.
Winter storm warning has been issued for all of southeast Wisconsin, and it's going to get really, really dicey.
Blackouts.
Tens of thousands of customers across southeast Wisconsin are without power this morning.
Icy roads.
Very, very slick conditions pretty much everywhere.
And more with WTMJ Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts on air and at WTMJ.com.
Another thing I wonder, why are so many egg devices? Why are so many egg devices shaped like eggs? You ever notice that? Like, if you get like a hard-boiled egg cooker, it's actually like shaped like an egg.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It makes it fun. The shape of an egg is a fun one, isn't it?
That's just one of those interesting things.
Yeah. Do you ever have an egg holder? My husband likes to do that. His whole family. Oh,
Yeah.
They love that. And then they crack it with a knife.
Yeah,
Makes it fun.
that's old school and kind of fun, too.
Very
I get
German.
It. I don't know. Everything is shaped like an egg. Hey, they have great eggs in the Cobb salad at Potawatomi Sportsbook. There you go. How about that for a transition? They really do. It's a delicious salad. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. The eggs are always perfectly cooked. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook. They have fantastic food coming out of the kitchen at the Sportsbook. They've got a full-service bar, VIP deck. No better place to watch games than Potawatomi Sportsbook. You might be watching some basketball tonight. Make your plans to watch the big game there in a couple of weeks, or just stop by at your leisure and just see what I'm talking about. If you've not laid your eyes on the Potawatomi Sportsbook at Potawatomi Hotel Casino, it's impressive. It's incredibly impressive, and we are there every week with the weekly wager from 6 to 7, Wednesday nights on ESPN Milwaukee. Check us out. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook inside the beautifully redesigned Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make outdoor living unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why, through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now, the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Wind advisory in effect until 6 o'clock tonight for pretty much all of southeast Wisconsin. Temperatures in the low 40s, but those wind gusts going to be pretty much equal to the temperature with a miles per hour next to the number. Overnight low of 25. Breezy again tomorrow and a high of 43. 38 the high on Wednesday, 48 the high on Thursday. It is 37 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:18. Time for our weekly check-in with the MMAC. Their office right next to ours here in our 3rd Street Market Hall Avenue Studios. Joining us today, Senior Director of Communications, Ryan Amundsen. Hi, Ryan. Doing well. Glad to have you here. So I teased this just a couple of moments ago. This morning announced that Microsoft was going to, I don't know if you want to call it doubling down, but certainly adding to its footprint in southeastern Wisconsin with more than 200 acres of land, closing on this land in Kenosha. What do we know about this?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of specifics, but it's more good news coming out from the southeastern Wisconsin corridor, especially along that I-94 corridor between Milwaukee and Chicago. They've announced they closed on 240 acres of land down in the city of Kenosha. They don't have project plans finalized or timing finalized for that project, but, about 7 miles up the road in Mount Pleasant, they're building that humongous data center there. So this is just more good news. It shows how invested Microsoft is in this community, how much they like this community, how much they look forward to doing business in this community. So this is really, really good news today.
I'm sure there are a lot of people saying, too, okay, that means many more jobs coming.
Absolutely. And yeah, I wish I had some specific figures for you. I don't. But yeah, they're looking to add on to the already hundreds of jobs that they're looking to add in Racine County.
You know what else is coming? And a lot of people are talking about this. People are so excited about this. I don't know if there's been something recently that people have gotten more pumped about. Buc-ee's.
And I was stunned to see the numbers that I saw come out. 100,000 visitors. I think it was weekly. Was it weekly or monthly that I saw that they're visitors looking at 100,000 visitors weekly to that spot. That's amazing to me.
I thought you were going to say the number of gas pumps because that is incredible too if you haven't been to a Buc-ee's.
It really is. It's a huge number. Yeah, people love Buc-ee's. I personally have never been in one. I've been past a few, but I've seen the line of cars coming from those Buc-ee's spots down in Tennessee, and I think Georgia I passed one too when we were on our way down to Florida for spring break last year. But yeah, huge. People love their brisket. People love their beaver nuggets.
Yes,
I don't know if you've ever had
the beaver nuggets.
But this is fun. This is a big deal. I know they were looking at building another in DeForest, and I don't think those plans are gone. But it was a big deal when they announced this on, I think it was last week, looking at the spot down in Oak Creek.
How do our friends at Quick Trip react to stories like this?
Well, I mean, it's competition, and that's what this economy is based on. So Quick Trip is great. People love Quick Trip here, but it seems like they're going to have some competition on their hands, sure.
It is really funny, too, because it's kind of like a race. Which city is going to get Buc-ee's first? Because last week, when we brought this to you on Wisconsin's Midday News about the news that, hey, Oak Creek was looking to be the first in Wisconsin to get a Buc-ee's, I thought, well, this sounds familiar. So then I did a little searching, and it was, we had the news, brought you the news about DeForest. And really, if you look at the headlines, DeForest is still hoping to be number 1, too. And so that just kind of, it makes me laugh a little bit, like, who's actually going to get it?
Right. Well, it looks like, from the sounds of it, it looks like 2027 for this Buc-ee's down in Oak Creek. I'm not sure exactly what the timeline looks like in DeForest. I know they're still working through some logistics when it comes to traffic in that area, which obviously is a big deal. If you've ever driven past one, like I mentioned, the lines coming to the interstate exits, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think the subheadline here is it's not choosing Oak Creek over DeForest. There are still plans to have both eventually up and running, but DeForest is just a little bit backburned.
No, yeah, it absolutely looks that way for sure.
By the way, if you can try the beaver nuggets, the jalapeno cheddar, if you like little spice, amazing.
Okay. I just had the regular. So my wife was on a road trip and she brought 2 bags home for us, and they didn't last long in our house, but they were fantastic, really, really good.
Believe it or not, we're only a few months away from the NFL draft in the city of Green Bay. And when I say that, I need to say the state of Wisconsin, because it's going to be the largest event in our state's history.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a stretch to say that.
Yeah, it's truly going to impact the entire state. Reading last week that hotel rooms, even here in Milwaukee, those prices are surging for that weekend. It's a big deal. They're expecting about 240,000 people up in the Green Bay area for this event. Obviously, they don't have the hotel capacity to accommodate all of those folks. So the entire state's going to be impacted by this, and it's really exciting.
What are we talking about as far as prices? Because you have other people, too, who are thinking they're planning weddings, or they're planning this, they're planning that, and they're looking for hotel rooms going, okay, now I got to plan around the draft. What's happening price-wise?
Yeah, and I saw some figures last week in the Journal Sentinel. It looks like the Pfister has rooms going for $595 per night for that weekend. That's about triple the rate of the weekend prior. And then St. Kate has rooms going for about $563, so about that same price range. So yeah, it's a premium for these rooms over that weekend.
I'm wondering how much that is going to spread into Door County, the Airbnb market, right? Neighboring counties around Green Bay. If people are going to just open up their homes and say, hey, stay at my place for a week, all good to go.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check out the Airbnb or VRBO prices for that weekend, but yeah, I would imagine they're busy on those websites too. Yeah, last year Detroit got 775,000 people for that event. Now, obviously, Detroit is a much bigger city and can accommodate a lot more people, but it was a very, very popular event, and you guys know how exciting that weekend is and how people get amped up for football. I mean, it's like Christmas for football fans.
Well, and you think about, I think about Milwaukee with the Republican National Convention, too. You had people who were renting their homes out, and in some cases condos. I know my condo in particular said, nope, you can't do that. But some people could, and they were getting a lot of money coming in because of that.
Should be a good weekend for hotels and people that are looking to rent out their places too.
Ryan Amundsen joining us from the MMAC. We've seen a lot of changes in the local craft brewing scene here, Ryan, with some consolidation efforts and some tap rooms closing down or making plans to close down. In the past year, 4 breweries.
Yeah,
they said goodbye to 4 breweries here in Milwaukee alone.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've reached a saturation point for craft breweries here in Milwaukee. I was looking at some state numbers. I couldn't find city numbers, but it looks like a quarter of a quarter of the. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We've more than tripled the number of craft breweries from 2011 to 2023, according to a trade website I was looking at today. So. Maybe we have hit that saturation point. I know breweries are looking at doing some different things to attract their folks. They're more focused on distribution. And so yeah, we've seen some challenges in that market.
Are breweries, some of these now, with the changing landscape, looking to team up and kind of work together to ultimately stay afloat?
Yeah, it looks like we've got some folks. They operate in different ways too. Like some breweries will share equipment. That's a way to cut costs. Some breweries will just move in together. We've seen that on the east side at Hacienda. They're partnering with a couple other breweries. They're coming up with some new ways to make it work for them from an economic standpoint.
Yeah, an ever-changing landscape, no doubt. Senior Director of Communications for the MMAC, Ryan Amundsen, joining us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Thanks,
we'll check
Ryan.
in again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
1226 on WTMJ.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. This nearly nanosecond-long tariff war yesterday seems to be resolved today, says ABC's Rachel Scott.
For hours, the two allies locked in a tense standoff after Colombia refused to accept 2 military deportation flights from the U.S. President Trump responding, vowing to impose 25% tariffs on all Colombian imports, which experts say would have devastated Colombia's economy and raised the price of everything from coffee to crude oil, bananas, and flowers for U.S. consumers just before Valentine's Day.
It's Holocaust Remembrance Day at a time of rising hate and anti-Semitism. The ceremony at the former Nazi death camp Auschwitz in Poland drew some world leaders and a dwindling number of survivors, all urging the world not to forget. Rain easing after Southern California's first significant storm of the season helped fire crews but caused ash, mud, and debris to flow across streets in wildfire-burned areas. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Greg Matzik. Another data center plan for southeast Wisconsin. Microsoft acquiring 240 acres northwest of I-94 at the Highway 142 exit to Burlington Road in Kenosha. Cost of the land purchase was not disclosed. The city of Kenosha voting unanimously in December to rezone the property in hopes of a potential data center. Microsoft's investment in Kenosha is in addition to the $3 billion data center project that is currently underway in Mount Pleasant.
A developing story now in Fort Atkinson. A water main break reported at Adrian Boulevard and Hilltop Trail. Crews say water may be affected for up to a 1-block radius. They're working to restore service as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the city of Middleton, just outside of Madison, is also repairing a water line break. That one started at 10 a.m. on Eagle Drive. Customers in the area may experience low or no water pressure for some time and some discoloration during the work. If you notice a rusty color in the water, run the cold water line for about 10 to 15 minutes to clear it up.
Well, no one was hurt after a trash fire in Sun Prairie. An ambulance driver noticed the clouds of smoke near Nelson and Bailey Roads just after 9 o'clock on Friday. Medics circled back to the Prairie landfill to find flames coming from the side of the hill. Firefighters estimate that about 3,000 square feet of the area was actually on fire. It took over 3 hours and 16,000 gallons of water to extinguish the blaze. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
15% of waste generated here in southeastern Wisconsin comes from food. So what is Milwaukee doing to change that?
At local food pantry Nourish MKE, 1/3 of their supply is food recovered from local grocers.
We have a team of rescue volunteer drivers who go out and do pickups at these locations and then drop them off at our food pantries.
Executive Director Valerie McMillan tells WTMJ a citywide pilot project is in the works called Feed MKE.
Helping people build up capacity in the food waste realm, things like composting.
Coming soon, an announcement of mini grants to boost food recovery and composting efforts at more local organizations. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Well, hold on to your hats and hold on to your everything today. The wind advisory for southeast Wisconsin, expecting gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour. TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore telling WTMJ what's causing the pattern.
High pressure down to our south and a very strong low pressure up into central Canada, and it's kind of squeezing the atmosphere together between it, and you get some pretty strong winds out of the west, which is what we're looking at today. We call that a pressure gradient tightening up. So we'll see that continue for today. Wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some wind gusts close to 50. Most of them will be in the 40s.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
It started with a prediction.
Go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Numbness, tingling in the hands, arms, legs, feet. Time to go see Dr. Alex Young and my team at Connect Chiropractic. Regular chiropractic care can bring life-changing results for folks who suffer from neuropathy and fibromyalgia, nervous system issues that can be corrected, and no worries about twisting, cracking, or popping. The docs at Connect Chiro use all the same method, a special tool that is pain-free and effective for your adjustments. Visit them in Delafield and Wauwatosa or get started online at goconnectchiro.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. It's the Chiefs and Eagles, Super Bowl 59 from New Orleans. The game will be played February 9th. Meanwhile, the Bucs continue their Western Conference tour in Utah. They'll take on the Jazz tonight. Doc Rivers Bucs 25-18 on the season.
We're 2-8, and we're losing anywhere, But I really do think in this stretch, overall, we've played really good on the road.
Meanwhile, the Jazz have just 10 wins on the season. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 7:30 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. I have some good news. That crash over by Mayfair, we had two crashes over by our malls. Mayfair and then one over by the Brookfield Square area. Both of those have cleared, so fantastic news there. The only other incident we have right now is some debris out there on the ramp from 60th Street to 41, 43, 894 West. Doesn't look like it's causing many problems right now, but just a heads up, at some point there will be crews out there to try to get that cleaned up.
Wind advisory in effect until 6 o'clock tonight for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s today, but those wind gusts could reach 50 miles an hour. Overnight low of 25. Back into the low 40s on Tuesday with breezy conditions. You'll have partly cloudy skies on Wednesday and a high of 38. Mostly cloudy conditions on Thursday and a high of 48. It is 37 degrees, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
Night. If you're watching on CBS, hello. If you're watching on Paramount Plus, you have 6 days left to cancel your free trial.
That's comedian Nikki Glazer crushing her first time hosting the Golden Globes. She did so well, reports say they're bringing her back next year. Her rise in popularity, also the reason the Pamps Theater Group added a second Nikki Glazer show and switched to a bigger venue. Glazer is now set to perform 2 shows in May at the Miller High Life Theater. And COO of the Pamps Theater Group, Matt Behringer, joins us live in studio to chat about the business of booking, keeping tabs on who's hot, and capitalizing on careers that are on the upswing. Thanks for bringing.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited to be hosting Nikki Glazer here in Milwaukee. It's going to be an excellent time, and we're really stoked to see her just take off like she has, especially in the last few months.
So full disclosure here, I was kind of thinking about going to the show, and I texted some of my girlfriends like, hey, do you want to go? And we didn't buy tickets yet. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I realized that she was hosting the Golden Globes. And I thought, I got to get on this because I want to be ahead of the curve here. And I thought once people watch her on the Golden Globes, everybody else is going to realize how great she is. And I thought those tickets are going to go like that. So before the Golden Globes, I went on and I bought tickets. And then sure enough, after the Golden Globes, you guys were adding another show and switching venues. So how does that work? Do you reach out to her people? Does she reach out? Her people reach out and say, we got to add more shows.
Well, boy, you are absolutely correct about the Golden Globes giving her some real jet fuel there, because we had that the Nikki Glazer show. We've got some partners. We've worked with her agent over at United Talent Agency for a long time, and then we've also got a promoter partner called Outback Concerts. In that case, we had been sitting on the show for a little while. It was selling well. It looked like it was going to sell out, but the day after the Golden Globes, things really started to take off, where we said, oh, this is moving in a much different direction. And so we contacted her management and our promoter partner and said, hey, this is taken on some new life here. And they said, oh, yeah, tell us about it, because it's happening now, not just in Milwaukee, but this is everywhere, all around the country for Nikki Glaser.
And so when you work to book a comedian or a musical act, but we'll use comedian, I suppose, in this light, are you thinking, okay, there's somebody out there who we think would be a perfect fit at our venue? Is it more size of venue and the talent that has to work together?
Well, I can speak for at least what we do here at the Pabst Theater Group. We're really more about developing kind of the overall long-term career for the artist or the performer. And so if you think about somebody like Nikki Glaser, there's a lot of people that are, the first time they've thought of her is like the Golden Globes. But, I had to go back through my files. And the first time we actually worked with Nikki Glaser was way back in 2015 for an event with FM 102.1 here called Adler's Comedy Fall Classic, where she was kind of the mid-card with the Sklar brothers headlining and Brody Stevens back in October of 2015. And we work hard to try to make sure we're developing relationships with artists and the audience, over a long-term career. So somebody like Nikki, who maybe people are just waking up to right now, actually the truth is she's been around for a long time. We've been thinking about, what it looks like to help develop hers and many other careers here in Milwaukee as part of their national campaign as they develop as performers.
And some people started to get to know her, and all of a sudden, they're thinking about, okay, that name sounds familiar because of her roast to Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Tom also lost $30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? I mean, even Gronk was like, me know that not real money. Like...
Or how about this one? Here it is.
Gronk actually does Bitcoin, which is where he just chews on a handful of nickels, but...
That's where she really jumped off the page to me. Like the roast of Tom Brady, and anybody who was within an earshot of Tom Brady kind of got caught some strays on that. But the roast of Tom Brady was considered by many of the funny people in Hollywood to be one of the best roasts they had ever been a part of.
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. And that was, at the time, the reason to make the move to jump to bigger buildings for Nikki as well. In addition to the things we'd done 10 years ago, she played the Pabst Theater as recently, actually, as 2023. We played it in 21 and 23 in a smaller room as well.
You mentioned that after the Golden Globes, tickets were going kind of crazy. Can you give us a feel for that? When you come in the next day, how quickly things were changing?
Yeah, we came in the next day and we realized that a show that was about 2/3 sold would probably sell out by that afternoon, and said, well, it's time to get a second show on sale here. So we added the late show. And I think that sort of threw some cold water in some people's faces here who were kind of maybe on the fence. And that show sold out nearly immediately. And that's the time where we have to go, okay, look, we've got to get some more access for the fans here and make sure that as many people are able to see her show as possible.
It's really interesting to watch the meteoric growth and what fuels it, and social media certainly plays into it, along with these incredible opportunities like the Golden Globes. Kind of a strange question here, but is it your hope that the next time they come back, they're at Fiserv or a 16, 15,000 person venue?
Absolutely. Because, whether or not we're involved with those shows, and sometimes we are and sometimes we aren't, the main thing is that if we can establish ourselves as being meaningful and playing a meaningful role in an artist's career, that's a win-win for us. If you look at somebody like a Jim Gaffigan, we've been working with Jim for many, many years. And the fact is that Jim did, of course, go play Fiserv for him kind of right when the building opened. And it's like, okay, that's part of what they do. But we brought him back, a couple of years ago. Now he's back to do 6 shows at the Riverside. He's going to do a huge run at the Riverside for 6 shows there, too. So we look at it as a virtuous circle. It's a positive for us, no matter what, to see growth like that.
That's awesome. We're talking with Matt Behringer, COO of the Pabst Theater Group. I'm curious your take on Nikki Glaser. I could tell you how I feel about it, but why do you think she is the it person right now in comedy?
I think she's incredibly appealing for a number of reasons. Look, I think, when you think about a female comedian like that, there's not all that many that are, in a place where I think people put themselves in a place where they to say things that they can't necessarily say. They want to have that edge, and she does it so flawlessly and amazingly and confidently that I think she has a lot of admiration from that. She's very, outspoken and confident, and I think in a lot of real positive ways.
Is comedy back?
Is comedy back?
Yeah, not that, you know what I mean.
Go away, Greg.
I just think about when I was growing up, right? I mean, like Eddie Murphy Raw was the thing I was not able to watch, or Bill Cosby himself, and these are iconic, where you just get it on VHS or something like that, and that's how you were able to watch it. But it did feel like comedy went through a bit of a lull. Comedy clubs were shutting down, and it was there weren't as many who could do what the likes of Nate Bargatze and what I think Nikki is, or Meteoric Rise, as we talked about. It just didn't feel like there's been as many in the last, I don't know, go back 15, 20 years.
Well, it is, I mean, within the past, especially since the pandemic, I would say we're in a golden era for stand-up comedy. If you look at the amount of comedians right now that are ascending to that arena level, whether it's, you mentioned Nate Bargatze or like a Sebastian Maniscalco, or Bert Kreischer, all of these people, Bill Burr, all ascending to these huge levels like never before. I mean, Nate Bargatze is a great example. He's, I think, the first comedian who was really known primarily as just a stand-up comedian to host Saturday Night Live. Usually they're looking for something more to support that, whether it's a movie or TV. He came in just on the basis of his comedy specials and his live comedy as a known personality. I think we're in a real era right now where, look, people need a laugh, and I think we need it more than ever these days. And I think that the ticket sales and the rise of more and more prominent comedians than we've ever seen before fleshes that out.
Do you think Nikki Glazer's age also has something to do with it? Because I was thinking about this, and this was part of the appeal for me to buy tickets was I really, number one, I've never seen live a female comedian. So that was intriguing. But also her age. I mean, she is younger. And I think a lot of people, too, talk about social media being a big thing. On TikTok, even before the Golden Globes, that was where I saw a lot of her bits. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I like this. And then obviously in the algorithm, they showed me more and more and more. Does her age and kind of appealing to people, the masses on social media, have something to do with it, too?
Yeah, look, I think she has been very savvy on the side of social media. I'm not so sure she's not. I mean, she's not exactly young. I think Nikki's in her maybe late 30s or something like that. So that's a little different than somebody like a Taylor Tomlinson who really launched in her 20s. It's all relative. I'm sure we'd all feel different ways about it one way or another. But I think that she is just benefiting, frankly, from the fact that she has really paid her dues on touring, and she's really honed her craft, and it's exciting to see that pay off because, like I said before, a lot of people wouldn't think of her as somebody that was touring 10 years ago, but she was, and she was out there developing it and creating a really great product for audiences.
Gonna have to add a third show then?
If there was time, we would. If there was time, we absolutely would, but that's the crazy thing right now. She's on this really intensive touring schedule. We certainly asked. But I would say it won't be too long before we bring her back as well, and she comes back to Milwaukee. But we're really excited for the shows coming up in May.
Well, there's got to be some fine line, too, between making sure you have the right number of shows and you don't have too many. Mm-hmm. That goes with the demand there.
Yeah. We don't want to burn anybody out, and especially with those comics, they're working hard out there every single night. In her case, there's going to be more and more pressure to add shows and more pressure to do more and more because, the popularity is just exploding and there's a demand for it. It's exciting stuff.
Overwhelming demand is what the website says right now. So Nikki Glazer relocated to Miller High Life Theater and now doing not just one show in Milwaukee, but two. COO of the Pabst Theater Group, Matt Behringer, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
It's 12:49.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Well, we got a Palermo's weekend. That's right. easy, delicious. That was Saturday night. Make it a Palermo's night in your household. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be happy. It is Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza made right here in the state of Wisconsin. They have been doing it the right way for 60 years. That's right, 60th anniversary for Palermo's Pizza that bring you proud brands like Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boy. We had a Screamin' Sicilian over the weekend. It was perfect. We had it in the freezer, overloaded with toppings. I could not imagine any more pepperoni on top of that pizza than we had to go along with that incredible real butter in the crust sort of taste and flakiness. It's delicious. It's Screamin' Sicilian. It's the way I like it. It's my favorite Palermo's pizza. And right now there is a Screamin' deal going on right now. This is no joke. Screamin' Sicilian for just $4.99. $4.99 for a Screamin' Sicilian. How about that? You're feeding the family for $5. You can find it at Sendix. Sendix is your partner for Screamin' Sicilian Pizza this week for $4.99 through January 28th. Head over to Sendix, pick up a Screamin' Sicilian for $4.99 now through January 28th, and celebrate Wisconsin's hometown pizza, Palermo's.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
As winter takes a deep freeze, it's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with deals you won't find anywhere else. Save on last-minute all-inclusive vacations with Apple Vacations or get up to 67% off public cruise rates with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. Is Europe on your mind? Ask about Fox Group Vacations. Book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks on demand in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Time's ticking on Heiser's Drive Into 2025 sales event. The clock is literally running out on remaining 2024 models. We're making room for new rides, which means huge savings just for you. Shop online or race in today and get a new vehicle for way less than expected. With low payments, special financing, and immediate delivery, you'll start 2025 in style without breaking the bank. But hurry, because once they're gone, they're gone. Visit Heiser.com now for all of the details and get ready to roll into the new year with a celebratory deal.
See dealer for complete details.
Wrapping up the Monday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News on WTMJ. Greg and Jessica with you. I don't know how you feel about dynasties in sports, but there's a lot of frustration.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dynasty like the old soap opera.
Remember that show? Yeah. I never watched it as a kid, and I think I'm probably better off for that, but nonetheless, a lot of frustration and angst over the Kansas City Chiefs making the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a fatigue factor. I kind of fall into that category.
Yeah, I feel like it is for a lot of people.
A few years ago, I'm all about the Chiefs, right? Somebody beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Hey, the Chiefs were able to do it, and it was exciting and different and new. And now that the Chiefs are there again, I'm like, and was really kind of hoping the Bills would pull that one out. And, of course, he spent time on social media, and everybody is quick to point out, especially Bills fans, how many plays went against them in yesterday's game. And, yes, that'll happen after any game. But there's really nothing to dislike about the Chiefs, I guess. Maybe if you're just a Taylor Swift hater, you could find your reason. But Patrick Mahomes is likable. Their head coach has Green Bay ties, is certainly likable. He's kind of like a mascot and a character all in one. Andy Reid, he is certainly a likable guy. The ultimate opportunity to watch greatness, and this is a level of greatness unlike we've seen in the NFL, I think is really moving and unique. you just don't get up to see this very often. So, yes, there's a little fatigue, but I'm also interested in history being made.
Yeah, even before the game, my husband was like, no, I don't want them again. But I said, well, I have a couple. My dad grew up in Kansas City, so he's always been a big Chiefs fan, so I've kind of got that going for me for the Chiefs. But also, I just like the storylines that have come out of the Chiefs, including, yes, the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce storyline. I like it. I think it's fun. It's more fun for me personally to follow. So I know some people are going to go boo, but I'm cheering for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Bills are a likable team as well. I don't find the Eagles terribly likable. I don't find their fans to be terribly likable. So maybe I will side for the Chiefs on this one. I don't know, but it's been very interesting to watch the reaction throughout the course of today, and really a good portion of last night after the game. This level of frustration and angst, like, again?
To be honest, though, if the Packers aren't in it, I'm really just cheering for good food and great commercials.
Well, there you go.
Let's be honest.
There you go. It's 12:56 and WTMJ News is coming up, then it's Spanning the State. We're back again tomorrow.
Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
A sinkhole has caused havoc.
The streets want to eat cars. The earth is just turning against us in Whitefish Bay.